Okay, I'll call to order the meeting of the Parks and Recreation Advisory Agenda, and we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we have roll call, please?
Yes. Ms. White?
Here.
Ms. Drumheller?
Here.
Mr. Morrow? Here. Mr. Halloran? Here. And Ms. Sheldon, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Okay, do we have any announcements or agenda modifications? Okay. Has everyone had an opportunity to review the approval of the minutes from last month? Mm-hmm. And are there any modifications? And if not, may I have a motion?
Motion to approve the minutes from February.
From January?
I'm sorry, January.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, like that, have approved the minutes. Public input. Sir, would you here to speak? Oh, okay. Do we have anyone on Zoom for public input?
Not at this time.
Okay, thank you. And we'll move on to unfinished business and our current projects. Mr. Blankenship.
Good evening, everyone. Under current projects, Riverview Park Planning, we'll talk later on in the agenda extensively about that. Bryant Court Playground is complete. The ADA pad and walk have been poured. We just got a little bit of finish work to do around the playground, but it's being used and looks quite nice. It's quite a bit larger than the old playground was, and so it's getting quite a bit of use.
I had some questions. You want me to wait till later or ask?
If it's about Bryant Park, yes.
So I noticed the dirt pile in the parking area. Is that for something specific?
To stabilize the parking. Those are millings.
Okay.
So we'll spread those out, and that'll stabilize the dirt parking.
Oh, okay.
Like we do it if you go to Garden Club, it's that way. Easy Street is that way.
Yeah, I noticed that at Garden Club. And I have to say, I hadn't been to that park for a while, and I went out the other day and walked around it. And the guy, whoever's doing the cleaning of your crew with the trees out there, they've really done a good job. I know it's been a lot of work. It was like a jungle in there, and now you can actually see through and walk around the trees. It really looks good. And also the green fake grass underneath the swing area. Mm-hmm. That's on cement. Is that on a cement pad?
It's on, no ma'am, it's not cement. It's styrofoam on top of packed shell.
Okay, and then what kind of warranty do we have or lifespan on something
on
like
the
that?
Playground or on the
grass?
Turf? 10 years.
10 years?
The issue that we could typically have with that type of surface is the seams could get a little frayed if there are any seams, mm-hmm. and they just come out and
And did we have any other parks that have that?
Not that.
That's the first one.
Creative has the poured in place, and then everything else has the mulch.
Are we going to kind of wait to see how that works before we put it into other ones? Because it's not cheap, is it?
It's not cheap, but it makes it ADA accessible.
Right.
That was the intent there. But mulch, we'll just have to play that by ear per project.
Okay. And it looks good, the sidewalk going into the playground equipment. The equipment is great. Mm-hmm. I walked around that too. So it's a nice park.
Nice.
Done a good job.
Miss Webster, you want to come take your spot? Come
on. Main Street boat ramp. We have, Wednesday night, council will entertain the approval of a contract with our consultant to do the design and permitting for the dredging of Main Street boat ramp. We don't think that facility's been dredged since it was constructed, so it's in dire need of being dredged for better usage. The dry lines, if you'll remember, we've got the working waterfront dry line, and then we've got the law enforcement dry line. The work on the working waterfront dry land has started. Demolition is done, and they've started installing the new material. The law enforcement dry line, we will be going to council here in the near future to approve a proposal from the vendor to do the installation of that project at Riverview or at Twin Piers. Swing and bench, the design for the shoreline stabilization is complete. We're just waiting for either St. John's to tell us we don't need a permit, or we do need a permit, or what type of permit we do need, if we need one.
You mean a permit to put the swings up?
No, this is the shoreline stabilization.
Oh, just to stabilize
We
it?
got to
All
do
right.
the stabilization first before we do anything.
Right, okay.
And that's it for project updates. Oh, Barber Street backstops, I think I skipped
Yeah,
that.
the backstop.
They're complete.
Oh, great.
Opening day was this past Saturday. So backstops are complete.
Oh, thank you very much. Go to committee member park updates. Mr. Morrow, would you like to start?
Why, sure. My parks are good, with the exception of the pickleball courts are missing the windscreen on the west end.
Ms. White, you have a report?
Easy Street Park, the water really cleared up pretty well, whatever you did with all that grass that was in the water a few months ago. That's good. The park looks good. It's used a lot, so that's it.
And there's lots of baby ducks still.
They are the traffic stoppers, I'll tell you.
They are really around. Mr. Halloran?
Sure. I'll continue with Bryant Street Park. It is looking so nice. I noticed the new handicap parking and then the sidewalk. Also the fencing that went around there.
Oh, click.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There you go.
Oh, sorry. All right. And I noticed the picnic tables got a facelift. So yeah, thank you very much. And also George Street is looking good. The one concern that I have at both of my parks, and I'm sure it happens at some of the other parks too, one or two of the abutters consistently parks on the grass that's opposite their house, and to the point where it kills the grass and it's just a lot of sand there. Is that something that code enforcement could notice, or?
Either code enforcement or PD could notice it. Now, at George Street, you may be seeing some remnants of the road construction that was going on, and that's where the construction vehicles were. But that's a pretty typical
Yes.
issue at parks is neighbors parking on the park side in the swales.
Okay.
Ms. Webster?
I don't have anything to report. Hardy Park always looks good, and they did have opening day last weekend, but I wasn't able to go.
For the base,
Yeah, for Little League.
Sorry, you
Yeah.
didn't go.
but there were a lot of cars there.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
it looked
gosh,
good.
I couldn't hardly get down the street.
My parks are doing well. Periwinkle, not seeing any problem there. Filbert, a lot more people. There must be a lot of winter residents hanging around there because there's a lot more people walking through the little walking path there and lots of turtles there. In the garden park is, I'm there a lot watering the butterfly garden and some of and the couple of trees that we put in there. And that seems. At Garden Club, that just got there a couple of days ago. The dirt that's at Garden Park?
Yes, so let me update you on Garden Club Park. The Natural Resources Board has a project there where they will be planting a pollinator garden in on the west end of that facility that'll have a trail that goes through it. So the pile that's in the parking lot is the millings that'll be the trail.
That's coming up in March, correct?
March 10th, the
March
week of
10th.
March 10th, they'll do the planting.
Okay.
The pilings are there for the trail, and then if we need more, we'll be able to get more as they do more road projects. But that's what that pile is for there now. So the planting is the week of March 10th.
Is that something that on the website there's a sign up for?
I don't think so. I'll have to check with,
Because I thought they were looking for some
Alicia.
volunteers to help with that.
I'll check on that.
All right. Would you like to give your park update?
I have nothing to report. Kildare and Schumann both look wonderful. I pulled my son through there a couple of times, and we had a lovely time.
Good. Oh, good to hear. Okay, we'll go to item C, upcoming events at Riverview Park.
Stargaze event is March 8th at 6:30 at the Twin Piers side of the park. That is we're doing that program with the Treasure Coast Astrological Society. They'll have their large, powerful telescopes out there on the pier, on the walk, so that folks can see the stars and get some explanation about what they're looking at. River Days is March 14th through the 16th at Riverview. Sebastian Art Club is March 22nd. Concert in the park, March 28th. And then another art club event, April 5th. So those are the activities at Riverview in the upcoming.
Any comments from the committee? Any
I'm
questions?
curious, does anybody know when the time changes?
It's not this Saturday, the following. Yeah,
So it'll be like March 7th or 8th.
yeah.
Okay.
March what?
So that's the day after the stargazing, so they should be good. Thank you.
Okay, under new business, it's time for elections. So we're going to elect chairperson and vice chairperson. So can I get some nominations for chair?
I think you've been doing a great job, Vicki. And I would like to nominate you to continue on as the chairperson of the committee.
I would second that.
I will second
Okay.
that.
Oh, we have a first and 2 seconds. Okay. So are there any other nominations for chair?
Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we'll vote for chair.
How do you do that?
How do we just, how many would like to see me retain chair?
I can call roll.
Oh, you can call
Okay.
roll if you want.
Ms. Sheldon? No, you don't vote, right?
I don't think I vote
Okay.
today.
Mr. Morrow?
Yes.
Ms. Drumheller?
Yes?
Ms. White?
Yes.
Mr. Halloran?
Yes.
Ms. Webster?
Yes.
It is unanimous.
Okay, so we need a vice chair, and currently our vice chair is Ms. Webster. Do I hear any nominations for vice chair? For
Does
vice
somebody
chair?
else want to do it?
I think she's been doing a great job also.
Boy,
So-
Mr. Morrow is really buttering up tonight.
And the pay increase is
Joanne
good.
Webster to continue on as the
that
vice
okay?
That's
chairperson
fine.
of the committee.
We have a nomination for Joanne. I would like to second that nomination. Do we have any more nominations for vice chair? Okay, would you call roll for vice chair, please?
Yes. Mr. Morrow?
Yes.
Ms. Drumheller?
Yes.
Ms. White?
Yes.
Mr. Halloran?
Yes.
Ms. Webster?
All right.
It is unanimous. Thank you.
Okay, we're.
Thank you.
right,
Thank you.
And
he's
Richard,
always
you won't
here.
have to change the list. Make list adjustment. We will, next for new business is the Riverview Park Plan Review.
So staff will put that up on the screen for you, and we can go over. This is an exciting time to be able to bring this plan to you for your review. If you recall, back in May, we held 2 public meetings here in the chambers to get public input on how ideas of how Riverview Park could be improved. And this is the result of that. One of the major changes to Riverview is that we will be moving the Veterans Memorial from where it is to the west side of the park. Now, we have spoken with leadership from the veterans organizations, and they are in favor of this move. So that's one of the major updates or upgrades that will occur. The other one is then the playground will move from its present location next to the splash pad. So the kids' events will be, or the kids' activities will be there localized. Harrison Street, half of Harrison Street, the east half will be closed That was planned quite a while ago.
It's good.
The volleyball courts will be moved from the northeast corner of Riverview over to Twin Piers on the south end of Twin Piers. Then there will be a permanent band shell constructed, so we won't be pulling the stage around here and there. It'll
Nice.
have a permanent location, and it'll take advantage of the shade from the trees that presently exist. And that's one of the selling points to the whole facility is the shaded areas. There is formalization of the overflow parking. Right now it's dirt, but we would design it, pave it, have the proper stormwater functions, and be able to get a lot more efficient parking, more boat trailer parking from a design facility. And also a little bit of on-street parking along Indian River Drive. That'll add a little bit of capacity. There will be some additional sidewalks within the park. When the Veterans Memorial moves over, not only will it move, but it'll be enhanced as well with a water feature, some updated memorials and the like. Additional entryways to the park from US 1, from side streets. So it's an overall upgrade of around the area of the kayak launch will be, you can see the image here will be greatly updated. So with that said, we'll answer any questions or any comments that you may have. Or Brian, do you want to?
I have I think this is a wonderful enhancement to our premier park, and I love moving the Veterans Memorial up to the US 1 side. I think it gives it more visibility. I like that there is a place for sitting, the sitting area also that will be built in there. A lot of on-street parking. One of the concerns that I saw in the current parking on the Harrison Street side near where the, right now, not too far from the restroom area, there was a lot of, I know that's going to be all closed off in pavers, but there's only one handicapped spot and all of that. And I see that there's a lot on behind where the old splash pad is, and then we have a walkway that is behind, next to our pads. It might be a decent spot for some more handicap, but I think we're shy on handicap.
Well, I don't want you to get too bogged down in the details.
Okay.
Because all of that will be worked out as they get into the design portion of it. Right now, we're at a conceptual 20,000 foot look.
So you have
They haven't done the calculations or anything like that.
Issue.
So that'll all be driven by code.
So will all the current memorial bricks move also? All right.
The only thing with moving it to the corner over by US 1, just going to some of the events, it's sometimes hard to hear and traffic. I like that it's there. I think that's a good spot for it. But maybe amping up the speakers or something, because there's a lot of road noise. I know when we had things going on, even when it was by the river, sometimes it was hard to hear people talking. So.
And we've had that discussion, and there'll be steps taken to lessen that.
Yep, and also I agree with you that the handicap, especially for events for that, having more handicap parking. So this, I'm looking at this, it's hard for me to read the print, but
You want to look at a bigger one? I blew it up and put what's there.
So the volleyball courts then are going to be in this.
Over on the other
Over
side.
on that other side, okay. And when we have the art weekends, they won't be using that space. They'll be using the other green area, then the closed off roads. I mean, that shouldn't affect them.
There is space there they could use if needed.
In the volleyball area?
Well, around it, not on it,
Yeah,
but in the
around
general
there.
vicinity.
Okay, and I agree too, the playground, that's a good idea to move it
Have-
next to
yeah.
the splash pad. And then where were you talking about putting a permanent stage then?
The band shell,
The band shell?
That is number,
it's in the
Is,
Over by
north,
where the playground used to be?
where the playground used to be,
okay,
in that general vicinity.
all right.
so I also see, that there's a bus stop that is like where the road's going to be closed off.
Well, again, that's a detail that right now we don't know. I mean, they may be showing that because it makes sense, but, you know, that,
But it's a possibility on events that there could be like some transport with golf carts or something for somebody from there. I mean, I think it's a great feature because of how many elderly people live here. And I like that that's right next to the gravel parking and there's a walkway and that just seems like maybe pre-planning for something that won't happen immediately, but we will have at some point in time. I'm not as worried about the sound because I have looked at this diagram and there's so much planting happening that I think we might have some, a little bit of help with that. So we're number 9, which is the entryway, the park gateway. Is that just going to be kind of like a trellis type thing with a name, or is that going to be?
well, again, that's
It's just
that's a
concept.
detail that we're not at yet. Unless Brian may know better, I don't think we have that detail ironed out exactly what that's going to be.
I was just wondering if that actually was brick or something with name on it. That would really help with the sound at the memorials.
And if you look at the
It's hard to
second
tell.
slide that was sent, there's some examples of what,
Yeah, I gotta look at the others. I
Could
got it on
Oh, I
this
see,
piece.
yeah, you've got a like a wall,
Yeah, so there's like a stone entrance archway. I
no,
got you.
just two.
it's on your screen now.
And we have the cascading waterfall.
This looks really good. Do you have a question?
I did, I wanted
I'm
to.
so sorry. Are residents going to get an opportunity to talk about the playground before that design is
Yeah, there'll
decided
be a
upon?
whole, yes,
Cool.
that time will come that we can have discussion about what type of playground and
Cool.
theme and or whatever. That's down the road, yeah. Paul?
Is there-
Please excuse my Boston accent, but the stormwater boardwalk, there's a picture of it there, but I don't see it. Is that just a representative?
A representative
picture?
of what
Okay.
could be there. Now, the stormwater retention area now is over there where the volleyball courts are now, along that edge. So in concept, there could be a boardwalk over that so that it's not lost space. You know, you don't have to walk around it, you can walk over it through the boardwalk, and it's just representative of what could be.
Thank you.
This
So
looks
I have a
like it increases the walking path area substantially for the, because there's a lot of folks that use that just for exercise.
It'll increase it, I don't know how substantial, but it will increase. Brian,
I-
did you have?
I'd really
Input?
like a large pavilion where the splash pad and playground are so that the grandparents can get a little bit of.
Oh, I just have concerns, like the festivals, like River Days. Where would that go?
All throughout the park everywhere, but on the Veterans Memorial.
Right.
They're not losing any space because they're gaining Harrison Street. There'll still be plenty of festival space.
Okay, I'm just thinking about where you cook. You know what I'm saying?
There'll be,
There'll be
yeah,
space.
yeah,
In the
plenty.
shade.
And shade.
Please.
So I have 2 questions.
Oh.
What's the time frame for the completion of this project?
Oh, that's the $1 million question there. As you would know, we were, let's put it this way, we ranked number 3 in the state for a $1.5 million grant for the project. that money is federal money. We were notified in August that where our ranking was, we were in the funding, but we have yet to get a contract or agreement or anything like that. So we're continuing to seek grants, which we've gotten, we got the grant from FIND for the law enforcement dock. We've gotten a planning grant so we can do phase 1 planning for Riverview. I really can't answer exactly when there will be enough funding. We'll phase it. This will be a phased project. That way we can manage the funding better. We'll know what kind of money we need for phase 2 versus phase 3, as opposed to the whole project. If the Land and Water Conservation Fund grant comes through, between that and our match, we'll have over $3 million. But it needs to come through.
Are those, you said matching grants, both of them?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Can they be
And the match
matched
is
with
already,
each other?
The match, and we do. Like, some of them are able to match each other. We have $1.5 million budgeted, which is the match. And then assuming we get the grant, we'll have $3 million. Plus, we've got 2 other state grants waiting, pending award. Fine money was a couple of $100,000. So we're scratching away at it.
So if this is going to be a phased project once it's really not just conceptual, will there be any period of downtime for the entire park?
I don't foresee that. There will be times where it may not be convenient for certain things to go on.
Yeah.
But we keep that in mind when we do the phasing and we do the construction. We'll keep those type of activities in mind. How can we do this and still do whatever event there is to be done?
So what is the next step from what you've shown us today?
We'll go to council in March for their blessing.
So do you need us then to do a recommendation for this?
Please. But first, Mr. Benton may have some thoughts.
Mr. Bitton, thank you so much for coming to our meeting. We're pleased to have you.
Wait, I have one more question. My second question, besides the time frame, is Kinley and Horn doing the work on this, or is this?
Yes, sir. Kimley Horn. They're the consultant.
One more quick one. Is the splash pad going to stay the same, or is it going to change?
Splash pad's it's got to be upgraded. It's not functioning well as it is.
It's going to keep
old.
its roof, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be upgraded.
And it's solar heated, isn't it? The panels, kind of? Or how does that work?
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, Mr. Bitton.
It is not heated. The splash pad is not heated. The solar panels that are there are utilized to provide electricity for the lighting and some additional electrical stuff there on site, but it is not a heated location. And I have nothing else to add. Mr. Blankenship did a good job covering it, and you all asked quite a few questions.
So from the committee, is there any more discussion? If not, may I have a motion?
Oh, I'll make a motion.
Oh, is there any public input? Anyone on Zoom? Yes, if you would like to come up here, please. No, because I can't hear you if you don't come up here. And they need to get a transcript also.
Her name.
So if you just tell us your name.
Darlene Furman, 443 Panoka.
Okay.
I didn't hear about Hardy Park, so I don't know what's going on there. I know recently there was a blitz cutting of the lower limbs of some of the deep shade from the live oaks, which I'm strongly opposed to. I also know you want to move the memorial into the deep shade area of the river park. And it seems like the memorial's lovely, it's well thought out, it's put together well, it's in a nice quiet area. There's plenty of grass there for additional playground equipment. Why move it all?
Okay.
Plant trees, plant some deep shade all along the river walk. Put deep shade there. The volleyball area seems to be the same size, so why move it? It's kind of fun to see players play when you're listening to a concert. They're not loud and disruptive. So why reinvent it? Why move your clock? Why move your Pelican fountain? It's like, keep what you have and expand on that, grow from that.
Okay, thank you.
Put some outdoor ping pong tables out there. You can make them out of concrete.
There's a, Mr. Blankenship, ping pong tables out of concrete. Okay, okay,
Yeah, they do make them.
yeah.
That's something you don't have in the park. You don't have hopscotch or horseshoes or bocce ball. So that would be expanding the services you're asking or providing instead of just moving stuff around that you already have. And back to Hardy Park, you've got a lot of plantings, I'll say, are missing. There's none along the guardrail. So all the headlights from the cars as they wander along Barber Street shine into all the windows of the houses that are on the other side. And now with the Parks Commission cutting down all the lower branches for no apparent reason, they were not dead, lets even more light through. And those trees will not regrow those branches there at that location. And the people come there because they want to be cooled off. I also noticed at the River Park that Hardy Park is supposed to have a splash pad. So I guess some of your other parks that are supposed to have some certain facilities don't have what they're supposed to have. So maybe you want to put a splash pad at Hardy Park and some other locations and spread the wealth around. And you'll get more for your money, and you'll get a happier populace.
Do you live near Hardy Park?
Yes.
Okay.
I go down to the River Park,
Mr. Blankenship, do you think maybe you could get together with her to discuss some of her concerns about what's going on at Hardy Park? Okay.
Okay.
Because I think he would be better to be able to answer the staff dynamics and what exactly is happening and why versus us up here, because we're not the day-to-day folks. But we really encourage your input, and thank you for coming to talk to us.
Okay, I mean, there were major limbs removed. Mm-hmm. Seems like it's inappropriate.
Okay, thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Do we have any public input from Zoom?
No hands are raised at this moment.
Sir, would you like to come up?
My name is Dale Moore. I'm actually a board member at the Historical Society just next door, but this has nothing to do with that.
Okay.
I met with Brian and also the designers back just after May to throw out some idea because I'm a designer. I have experience in a lot of this stuff, and this really seems like really it's going in the right direction. I do have a couple comments, but I don't know if it needs to be now or if there's another opportunity to just go over little things, you know. For instance, I feel that there should be a continuity in its message or story, the whole park, so that we don't have type A, type B, type C. So everything looks different, but there's a cohesiveness within the park. And that would mean things like the entrance, you know.
And that may be forthcoming because this is just concept.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
and
you know, at this
I'd
point,
love
because
to
there's a
be-
lot of things that we question too, that it's like, well, hold back till we get a little bit deeper into the weeds.
Like, you know, the waterfall in the veterans thing is really kind of neat, but it's sort of like what the vets have now, which is they're real hard, nice memorials, but they're really hard. And to me, the waterfall is the same. We need to get life to those with the foliage, Florida foliage and stuff like this, because we're celebrating their lives, not memorialize, you know, their death stuff. So I think there's a lot of that kind of stuff that could be discussed or further discussed. But my whole background is environmental kind of stuff like that. I just moved down from Disney, so that's
Well,
where.
we welcome your input, and please keep looking for it because it's posted. There will be more opportunity to come and talk when the plans get a little bit less conceptual.
Who should I go through? Because
Mr. Blankenship is the head of the department.
Okay, cool. And that's it, but
Well, thank you
I
for your
think it's cool.
input.
Okay.
One of the people on Zoom has raised their hand.
There's someone on Zoom?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if you bring him in.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. Can you please tell us who you are?
Yeah, this is Roshan Desai. I own RPAT's Dry Cleaners.
Can you please spell your name?
Sure. Where can I do that? There's no chat button. I put my question under the Q&A. I don't know if you could see that.
No. I can't see that.
Okay. It's Roshan. Last name Desai, Desai.
Thank you very much. What can we help you with?
Yes, I own RPAT's Dry Cleaners, and I'm concerned about the traffic that will be headed south off of Harrison Street onto US 1. Because once that road is closed off, most of my customers come from Vero, and most of the time they go towards the river and, go around towards the traffic light and make a left. Now they'll have to go through US 1 and eventually make a U-turn to go back south. Is there a possible way to think about whether a traffic light could be installed at Harrison Street and US 1?
Mr. Benton, can you take that?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. So to kind of answer your question, sir, the traffic light would have to be an approval through DOT, and with the close proximity to County Road 512 and US 1, I don't know that we could get approval for that. However, our plan is to stabilize the driveway from existing Harrison Street back down to Indian River Drive, so your customers would still be able to access from Indian River Drive and also from Harrison Street to Indian River Drive via a new road that will run through the overflow parking lot that will be an actual road connecting those 2 points. So they still will be able to access Indian River Drive with the closure of the eastern portion of Harrison Street.
Okay, thank you. I did not know that. So they can go south on Indian River Drive.
Yes, sir. They can go south or north. Either way, they can go north and then turn left on 512 and go to the stoplight as they currently do, or they can go south on Indian River Drive and come back out to US 1 down by the produce stand and make a determination whether they go right or left at that point.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do you have any other questions? I think he disconnected. Do we have any other folks on Zoom?
No one else has raised their hand.
Okay, thank you so much. Do y'all have any other questions, or do you want to move on? We can move on, okay. So.
Madam Chair, if we could get a recommendation to City Council.
Oh, we need
on
the
behalf of
motion,
the
I'm
board.
sorry. I'll entertain a motion about the.
I'll make a
Riverview-
motion to recommend it to the city council.
Okay, do I hear a second? I'll second. Okay, so we have a motion to make a positive recommendation. Oh, Ms. White. A motion was made to make a recommendation to City Council to approve the conceptual plan for Riverview Park. You're welcome. And we have a first and second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the motion passes. Thank you so much. Now we'll go to item B, the recreation program calendar.
Again, council, or board, this is just, now that we're upping our recreation programming offering, I would just want to keep you guys in the loop. So we've talked about the Stargaze event. The Shark Fitness Challenge is scheduled for May 10th. That is a overall fitness event that will be down at Twin Piers, that the Church Coast Fitness will produce for us. And then there's the Junior Clay Court Tennis Tournament for 12 and under that will be here at Friendship Park in May. And that will involve junior tennis players that, potentially from all over the Southeast, to come and play and get points for their tennis scorecard.
Well, that's exciting. Okay, then the items, does anyone have any items they want to add to the next agenda? Seeing none, we'll be meeting on March 24, 2025. This meeting is adjourned.